my voice.
What's not? Your mic's not picking up?
Yeah.
Is it now?
Nope. Is yours?
I don't know. I'm talking. Is it picking me up? How about
There
now?
we go. Oh, okay, we figured it out. A little some dead air there. Apparently, somebody clicked off the program button before. That's never happened. Here we are.
It's never happened to me before.
It's the first time for everything. You're listening to Average Rants here, KNMC 98.1 FM.
How's that jingle coming?
That
you were going to work on all week?
I had some people send me some ideas.
Did you?
Yeah, and one even had a jingle with ants in their pants or something.
Sweet.
It was cute.
Yeah. We'll take it because you're not getting anywhere.
It's because I forget about it.
I was going to say, you better not say you're busy.
No, I'm outside a lot more.
Playing golf?
What? Jealous?
Yes.
Let's do the community calendar. It's nice out. Go outside. That would be the
It's Memorial Day weekend. You should be camping, fishing.
You guys should be carrying
picnicking.
your boom box, listening to us as you walk around the campsite, so that people can be like,
dude.
"What is that enriching sound?"
Yeah, most people don't even know what a boombox is anymore.
Oh, your MP3 player on a Bluetooth speaker.
Your phone with an earbud in.
So, yeah, no, it's the 30th. This newspaper is from the 50th.
I told you. The community, there's stuff going on in the community, we swear.
I'll look into it a little bit more. I thought this newspaper was up to date. We came in a little rushed, and I didn't really double check everything.
You're supposed to.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't know that was on us. You dropped the ball.
I did. Community stuff, go outside.
Our slogan is,
Smart. It's the
we don't know.
Memorial Day weekend. Sorry. And what is that again? You were trying to explain to me in the car, because you said it was about remembering soldiers and
The fallen soul, yes, remembering the lost loved ones. Who, people. I think it's more spread into a vast, just remembering everyone who's a loved one who's passed on. But I believe its original was the passing of the military, someone who served.
that's good.
So-
I mean, it gives people a long weekend to go camping, so they can remember while they're camping.
Mhm.
Get away from technology, that's for sure.
I don't know. Have you seen the modern campers lately?
Okay,
That's not camping.
No.
I mean, that's just pulling a house out into the mountains and going, we're camping.
I like seeing those big campers with a truck that was clearly too small to be hauling it, but they're doing it anyway.
Yeah. Excuse me while I push a button and expand my trailer to transform into an actual house.
Well, it's going to be the first actual real transformer is going to be a camper.
A camper. Yeah.
Just turns into a 5-house mansion.
We had campers as kids, but my parents never let us be in it, so it was just there for my parents to sleep in, and we stored food in it, and we got to sleep in the tent. So.
And don't touch the side of the tent.
Oh man, we woke up soaked all the time because we touched the side.
The morning dew.
Oh, it would just rain. I mean, because when we camp every Memorial Day weekend as a kid, just like everybody else does. It rained it's pretty much a given. Except this year, it's actually pretty nice. It rained all this last week, so.
Man, it's been nice. Working on my tan.
Well, I've been playing golf and getting a tan.
Oh, that's what I mean. So I'm working on my tan.
Farmer's tan.
Well, I'd walk around shirtless, but that's kind of weird.
No one wants to see it.
Right. Oh, we went hiking today. That was nice.
Yeah, it was actually quite nice out there today.
Nice warm. Kids were in a hurry.
Yeah, they're usually like, I'm tired.
Yeah, they were racing to get it done. Picking all the flowers. Well, I guess you got a playlist here for us that is your Memorial Day
Kind
kind of thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's see how it goes. Looks like it's starting with 3 Doors Down. Here's Citizen Soldier.
Now, we can't rant about guns on the radio, Barry.
Just making sure that this is playing.
It is playing. Right. But we can on YouTube.
Yeah, we can. We can rant about guns, how stupid they are.
Guns aren't stupid. It's just the crazy people who use them. You're a gun owner. You own a gun.
Because I want it.
But you still technically own a firearm.
Uh-huh.
Your dad, from what I understand, owns several firearms.
Mm-hmm.
In Canada, it is very difficult to own a firearm, right?
No.
Oh, you could actually quite easily go get hunting.
You can, but it is a background check.
Yes,
and you have to have. For me to get the rifle license, I had to take a weekend course to get the rifle license, and then a week course to be able to own the gun.
Right. We don't require that. Just a straight background check.
And there's a lot of restrictions, right? Like, so a trigger lock has to be on your gun at all times until you are either physically hunting or at the range about to shoot, and you can't store bullets in the same room as the gun.
That's got to be a little tough to enforce.
The weird thing was, like, my dad he's pretty redneck.
It's probably been that way so long, though, that's just people have always
And
done
people
that.
get it.
Yeah.
Like, they just, it's like so down here, everyone's been told, right to bear arms.
We're only bringing this up because I am a gun guy. I own several guns. I don't need to list them all, but I can count on both hands that many. And you can only shoot one at a time unless you're talented. But the number of mass shootings that are currently occurring is just getting out of hand. And I don't think civilians need military weapons. We don't need them.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. I have yet to hear a story.
What do you need a 50-round clip for? What do you need a 50-round clip for?
To kill people.
Exactly.
I mean, or you're really bad at shooting.
I'm going deer hunting and I got 50 rounds. You're shooting.
I had a talk with some kids here when they were talking about how they were shooting with semi-automatic.
Right.
Because I can't even have that cannon. You have to pump action or something for every shot. And I was like, well, why do you even need that? They're like, well, in case I missed the first time. I was like, don't miss.
Learn to shoot.
The deer is not attacking you.
Yeah. So I own a military style weapon. And I would have no issues if they said, no, you can't own this rifle. We don't allow it because of, well, they're being used improperly. Well, they're not being used improperly. They're being exactly used for what they're designed for. But yeah.
I just think
people walking into public areas and opening fire and just laying out a blaze of bullets it shouldn't happen.
If people could show me that more lives have been saved in the United States by defending themselves with guns than people getting killed improperly.
For every one story that exists, there are a dozen others that don't work.
Well, that's what I mean. There's, and it's like, and if you talk to like an actual police officer that's been in a shooting kind of thing, you're so adrenaline pumped that you, even as a trained officer, it is hard to aim.
Well, and here's the thing: is like the stories that you do hear about people who use a gun to stop a shooting are either have been trained by either the military or by law enforcement of some kind. They have trained in that.
I just remember that story of there was that mall shooting that was happening, and a guy pulled out his gun to help try to stop that guy. The police arrived and ended up shooting the guy that was trying to stop that guy.
Adding more bullets is never a good option.
And I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't know what to do if I was a cop. If I came in a situation and there was people shooting, I would just start shooting at everybody that was shooting.
That's what they have to do. I mean, they can't decipher from who.
You don't have time.
No. I mean, it's either you get in there and react or you die. Because if you don't shoot them, they're going to shoot you.
Yeah, it is.
So. It's
a hard one to talk about.
There's a little, I will say that I do believe that everybody should be allowed to purchase a firearm if they meet the proper qualifications. Not just because it's written on a piece of paper 220 years ago that says, yes, we can do this.
Well, I think if we're going to go by the piece of paper, then it should go by the weapons that they had when they wrote that. And
exactly.
That's what you should be allowed to.
And single shot muscle.
Yeah, and it took a lot longer to load one of those than it does to take the cock.
40 seconds a shot if you were good at it. So,
because that's what it was written for. It was because Britain was going around and taking the rifles.
And what's strange now is in Britain, no one owns a gun.
Yep, nobody does because they realize
not even the British military.
They're like, you know what? It's nicer. Yeah, the police officers don't even care.
Yeah, they carry a stick.
Yeah. I know.
I think the Royal Guards might, but only
Yes.
at the palace. I think they're only at the palace.
Well, so the police do have them. It's just they're not allowed to physically carry them while they walk around.
Well, because I mean, how many times have you heard of a police officer losing his gun in a scruff?
Yeah, and no, how many times have you heard of a police officer either shooting somebody or being shot by doing just standard police work?
Right. Yeah. I couldn't be a police officer. It's too tough now. For those guys, I have nothing but respect for.
Well, I always thought it was weird.
Hard.
Like, I looked into doing police stuff, and when it first originally started, like at least for Canada, the Royal Mounted Police started as a community service. It was like neighborhood watch, and that's what it still should be. It should be, people from the community that want to protect it. But I feel like it's turning more into it's military now.
Yeah.
Like when I wanted to join even the RCMP in Canada, and I was going through that, they were very military.
You would look really stupid in one of those hats.
I thought I'd rock it. Dudley Do right here. But it just seemed way too like they didn't. It's like they don't care as. I guess it's not care is a strong word because I feel like you have to care a little bit. But I feel like they just. It's more about the force than it is about the people.
I've seen too many guys that wanted to be cops just because they wanted to handle a firearm all the time.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong reason to be a police officer.
I just like confrontation and helping people deal with it.
Your sole purpose as a police officer, and I'm about 99% sure 99% of the police officers out there, they are out there. Literally, they want to help people.
Yeah.
They don't want to pull their firearm.
I had the one question asked when I was trying for the RCMP, and they said there's a fence. It's like 5 miles long on each side, and it's about 12 feet high with barbed wire on the top, and your partner's on the other side being beaten to death with a club. What do you do? And I was like, I shoot the guy. I was like, because I'm protecting somebody. It's the only time I would do it.
Yeah. But even then, it'd be tough because you could shoot your buddy.
Yeah, but I mean, they try to put you in a situation where you're like, there is only one option, and yeah.
They do have the less than lethal options.
Oh man, we gotta come back. Right.
So that ends that topic for today.
Yeah, I can't talk about that on the radio. Yeah, that's right.
You guys just
missed.
So you guys just have to tune in live on Facebook.
You missed the
rant.
Facebook YouTube rant.
YouTube rant
that we can't talk about on the air. God, there's so much to remember.
So much. So, I did stumble across something the other day that kind of made me laugh a little bit.
Oh yeah, what's that? I just realized we're both not wearing hats today.
That's weird, right?
Yeah, I was just driving to get you, and I was like, I forgot my hat. I was like, oh no, our three fans.
Just letting it all hang out,
Our three fans are just gonna.
Yeah, they can see how I'm thinning a bit. My wife likes to point it out.
No, she pointed out this to us last night.
So this is a funny story. A jewelry store employee calls out a guy who bought a ring for his girlfriend, but he also decided he was going to buy one for his side piece as well. So this upstanding citizen, and I honestly believe she did the right thing here. She went on TikTok and she posted, because the guy had to write down his name and stuff, who's buying it. And she's like, I support my girls, but if your name is Jake and he lives in Montreal.
Of course, Montreal.
He just bought 2 rings, one for his girl and one for his side piece. You deserve better than this. And she has... For the most part, she got overly good reviews for that. I personally think she's in the right there. Like, I mean, that's just if you're gonna do that, don't buy the 2 rings at the same place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there might have been a good deal.
BOGO. Buy one, get one.
If I buy this wedding band, do I get this one?
Well, and it's funny because she went through and she described it. She had pictures of each ring and she posted them and described them. And the 2 girls who this happened to are no longer associated with Jake, but they do now have they all have a triangle of texting. These 3 are now friends.
Oh, well, that's a good way to get
and
friendship.
They're like the jewelry store with the girl. That is a bit a privacy thing, but it was her last day at work anyway, so she didn't care if they fired her. So
Yeah.
I think she did a good deed in the end, though.
Well, I guess it would depend on. For me, if it was just like a name,
Yeah.
then
Like I don't get it. How can people be like that?
like buy a ring for one and then
One was an engagement ring.
oh.
The other wasn't the engagement. It wasn't an engagement ring.
I feel like we're in the middle of a rom-com right now.
Oh, a very bad one.
Yeah.
Like it never it never would turn out right for the guy in the end in that one.
No.
And it shouldn't. Like that's just complete and utter garbage. But that's just the way I feel about it. I don't know.
The question, like, does it tell you how much he was spending on both? Like,
no, but they were pretty fancy. It showed the
because
pictures.
it would be pretty funny. It's like engagement ring, $200, side piece ring, $1,300.
They are fairly fancy, but I hope that guy got everything that was coming to him.
I mean, if you're gonna do something like that, be stealthy. You just don't need to do
First of all, don't do it, but don't be stupid about it. Like, I don't know.
Maybe they just, maybe they just role play. And, I don't know, Sammy's got to be watching like this Modern Family randomly with her. And whenever they have the anniversary, his wife pretends she's like a secret agent girl and isn't his wife anymore. And he gets so into it that he feels like he's cheating on his wife.
Nice.
It's actually kind of funny.
I watched that show for a while, but yeah.
I just randomly kind of watch it with her because there's a lot of moments where I can go, yeah, that is you and me.
You guys role play?
No, but more of the he still acts like a child and runs around a goose.
Oh, let's face it. No matter how old a guy is, he's always a child.
It's true. We're very innocent, like a child too.
Like our wives asked us today, like, how do you guys, when you go to bed, your head is the pillow, and 45 seconds later you're unconscious? Because we don't care about anything. Like my wife will lie awake for hours at night just worrying about tomorrow, and I'm just like. What about tomorrow? It's tomorrow. I'm not there yet. I'll worry about.
How am I going to do all this stuff tomorrow? I know. When I wake up, I'll figure it out.
But right now, I got to study the backs of my eyelids.
Maybe I'll have a dream and I'll get an epiphany.
It'll tell me the answer. And that has happened for me. It has happened.
Yeah.
Like I was playing a video game this one time, this way back in the day on the Super Nintendo, and I couldn't figure out how to shoot the ball in this game. And you had to hit select and B to shoot.
It's a weird combination.
Exactly. Like I have never run in, and even since then, I've never run into a game where you had to use the select button plus another button to do something.
But you dreamt the combination?
I dreamt the button. I kid you not. Like it was crazy.
I dreamt randomly when I played a game, and then I go to bed and I play that game again, and I suck in my dreams. I'm a lot better in that.
Have you ever had that where you're sitting there and you're like, oh man, I haven't seen that movie in forever, and then 2 days later you're scanning through and you're like, hey,
let's watch that movie.
It just pops up like, did I do that?
I think the biggest problem I have is I watched I got that Paramount Plus trial thing.
Oh yeah, how's that?
That's not too bad because it's got the Indiana Jones movies.
Well, pretty soon those will be out on Disney because Disney owns them too.
Yeah,
so
I watched the first one.
Yeah.
And because I watched the first one, I had to watch the second one.
The second one.
I know, but I just have to watch them in order now.
Right.
So I'm afraid to watch the Lord of the Rings again.
It's like Star Wars with the Indiana Jones trilogies. You got to go the first one and the third one. Well, no, I take that back. The second, Empire Strikes Back, is probably my favorite, but with Indiana Jones, that second one, Temple of Doom, was just kind of like, what are we doing here? We're not really certain what we're trying to get here. And then we won't talk about the Crystal Skull movie because that was just not good.
Aliens.
Yeah, I love aliens.
I don't know. I never go into too many movies with expectations.
No.
So
we watched Iron Mask, a Jackie Chan, Arnold Schwarzenegger film. And if you have yet to see it, you don't know what you're missing.
That was amazing.
That dragon's eyelashes were ridiculous. And they fixed everything with a nail clipper.
Well, it was like a little dagger. And what is it though? She cut like one strand and it freed all the eyelashes.
Yeah, it was. That's for free on Voodoo, I believe, right now. So you can go out and stream that for free if you like. It's dubbed in like 17 languages, so they even dubbed the English with worse English, so that was good. What are you scrolling?
I am checking things.
Like what?
I was checking messages to see if anybody was going to give us something to talk about.
Oh, well, hey, we have 3 viewers, so feel free to drop a topic into the chat if you'd like to hear us ramble on about anything.
You know,
You can and we will.
we need to find a way to get more people on our YouTube to create deeper, in-depth
We're not
conversations.
depth. We don't have depth. We're shallow.
Well, no, we have depth that just has no.
Somebody peed in the shallow end theory.
Well, yeah, we're in the deep end of the pool that's half and half.
Oh, we're the brackish water.
Yeah, you know, where you're like, why is it so cold in this spot, but really
More
warm
warm
right
here. Oh, I'm next to you. That's gross. Oh, we lost a viewer. Yeah. See, we got deep.
So it's either that or our wives are now commuting to come
That
to the
could
same
be.
place.
That could be. She is one of our 3 followers. Your wife, anyway. Mine won't follow us.
No.
Would you?
Well, we should get her on TikTok. She watches that.
You don't even understand TikTok.
No, I don't.
You sent me a TikTok going, I don't understand TikTok.
Yeah, and then I hit every filter that I could to see what it would do. And then Sammy thought I should send it to you guys.
I don't even know what this is.
Yeah.
My wife sends me recipes through TikTok. So, did I send you? I told you about that peanut butter jelly sandwich thing that the guy made donuts out of those things, right?
Yeah, and wasn't it? It'd just be easy to just make a sandwich.
Pretty much, yeah. But it was still a pretty I get it. Like the fat kid in me went, oh.
Why did I ever do that?
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, they take the Crustables. For some reason, kids don't eat the crust of bread anymore, and they cut the center out with a punch of the Crustable, and the guy dipped it in brown sugar it was cinnamon sugar, and deep fried it like a donut. And go figure.
Yeah, go figure. That would be delicious.
Yeah.
You said deep fry.
Yeah. Just add bacon, and you're in heaven.
Huh.
So.
What if you wrapped it?
But she sent me another one yesterday of a cheese-filled brat wrapped in bacon, which looked pretty tasty as well.
That's a hot dog.
A bratwurst is not a hot dog.
It's a hot dog. It's just a little bit bigger.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes, because it's between 2 buns.
Then cereal is soup.
No,
Why?
because it's got like oats and stuff. And I don't eat and I don't. I challenge you to get a bowl of Lucky Charms and nuke it for 1 minute and then eat it.
Not all soups are hot. In fact, there are several soups.
Those aren't soups. Those are creams.
And I would like to point out that lots of soups have oats and barleys in them.
No, those are cereals.
Okay, back to music.
Here's Remember the Heroes.
By your logic, cereal is soup. If a hot dog is a sandwich, cereal is soup.
No, that's different.
What? How is it different?
Because I can't make soup by just pouring milk on it.
You can make soup by opening a can and just adding water.
No,
Yes.
you have to cook it still.
No, you don't.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. You're going to make tomato soup, and I'm going to make Lucky Charms. And we'll see who can start eating theirs the quickest.
If you mix the tomato soup with warm water, it's going to be warm tomato
That's fine.
soup.
You still have to warm up the water.
No, I don't. I just have to turn the tap on.
Yeah, and let it warm up.
And there are people who get hot cereals.
Ugh. What we do? You're 3 again.
Yeah. So
Nobody's talking to us.
yeah, people don't like us.
I know. I'm kind of an asshole. So.
Yeah, you are. Were you talking about both of us?
No, just me.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was the boss at the
You're a boss. You boss people around.
I did, and like my favorite story, and I probably overtell it, was when I walked the guy around and literally showed him everything because I like to be the boss that instead of pawning off everything.
Who lost the viewer against you?
And I just liked going around, and I showed this guy like everything.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, I asked if he wanted to work here. He said he liked it. And I was like, well, what do you think of me? He said, because we'd have to work together a lot. And he was like, oh, you're a great guy. And I was like, well, that's strike one. And then like I had the other guys there during shift change, and they were just like, they're like, Tony sucks. Tony's an asshole. And he was like, well, I think you really know what you're doing. And I was like, that's strike two. And then he eventually looked at me and looked so nervous, like he was going to lose his job or whatever. And he's like, I guess you're kind of an asshole. I was like, I think we'll fit in fine if you can keep that kind of attitude.
Yeah, you and I would never get anything done.
Why?
What are you guys doing? What were we doing?
We are making envelopes with writings on them. Well, I'd be a designer though, so I'd be at a computer yelling stuff
from 50 feet away.
Yeah, and I'd be like, hey, they need 3 of these printed, and you'd be like, this is disgusting. This is not something I'm supposed to print. I'd be like,
3.
Yeah,
3.
Because otherwise, you'd know not to do it, right? And then when you print them all out, they make a puzzle.
This is a picture. You just have to put the envelopes together in the proper order to make a picture.
Well, that's how you know that everybody that was invited to your wedding is the right people. They show up and all the envelopes can make.
Kind of like the necklaces you and your wife got us for Christmas.
Yes.
They all link together.
The look on your wife's face when we showed you guys that was hilarious. Because you guys had it, and you guys were linking them together, and we were standing there being like, hey, look.
Ours link too. Yeah, we're like, I don't know where they're going with this. This could get a little keys in the bowl kind of thing.
Nope.
We set that boundary right away though.
Yep.
And you just picked up your keys.
They're not mine.
No.
They're somebody else's.
Oh, yeah.
Why do people do those parties?
To keep it real or fresh, I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, okay, so let's be
I
honest.
have enough trouble satisfying my wife by myself. I don't need someone else there to put on the pressure.
Well, but I mean, the key parties is like you're supposed to swap like wives or something, right?
Right. No.
Is that
No, I would never do that.
No, but I mean that's what it's
Yeah.
for. Is just you grab some key and that's the person. But I mean, with all things, like I wouldn't be with my wife. You would be with your wife if there wasn't some sexual attraction at the get-go, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like you're like, oh, you're a really nice person. Let's see if this goes further. It doesn't always. I don't think it happens that way.
I don't know how those work.
Right, but then I mean, like, what would you do if you're like, I know this is a scenario. We wouldn't actually do it, but you draw it and you're like, ah, crap, it's Susan.
We apologize to all Susans.
Right, but you're just like, I'm gone, I'm out. See ya.
But what if you're at one of these things and it's one of your bucket lists?
I don't have a bucket list.
I'm
It's
not.
just like,
You're weird, all right? Everybody has a bucket list. Even your wife has a bucket list.
yeah, well, I know. Just
Like
because
I said, you're the weird one abnormality.
I
on
don't
this
want to
planet.
put that kind of effort into something.
You don't want to put effort into anything. But I mean, just for argument's sake, what if it was your? Would you be too nervous to do it?
Like, yeah, I just wouldn't do it.
Like crumpled under pressure.
Yeah.
But even if it was 100% okay.
Yeah, because it still wouldn't be.
It's just
there is never a time.
Like you're that guy on the show you were talking about where you're just like, nope, I can't do it. Nope, can't do it.
It would just, there is never an okay. No. Even if it was like, it's fine. It could save my life. No, it's not, because all of a sudden
we're both gonna die.
No, you'd be cured, and then be like, hey, remember the time you slept with that person?
Oof.
Like, that's what would happen. There's no way that anyone can have it just clear out of their mind.
Yeah. No.
Oh, it's doing that thing again where the song is running way longer than it says it's supposed to be.
Oh, yeah? What song is running there?
Remember the Heroes?
Oh. Hey. Little extra Sammy Hagar never killed anyone. So.
Oh, we'll do this.
You just fade out of it.
And let's skip to the next one.
But that would be 3 songs, wouldn't it?
No. That one was 6 minutes long.
Oh. Well, I'll see what I know. Let's see if I can find something else. See if we can ramble on about here.
Anything else interesting happen?
It's all political, and I hate.
I know.
I hate.
I don't want to do too many political things.
I don't want to do any political things because let's face it, I'm so sick of politics I could throw up.
All politicians are evil, but they are needed to run a country.
They're all in it for their own personal interests.
That is a big problem.
They're not in it for their voters. They're in it for themselves. Like,
yeah.
The fact that they get paid what they get paid to accomplish next to nothing.
Well, and they only work, was it 4 months a year or something?
Not even that. They play a lot of golf.
Hey.
Yeah, but you don't get paid.
That's true. Oh man, we should do some type of tournament so that we can get into the PGA Tour and we could Happy Gilmore it up.
We would never make the PGA Tour.
Man, I saw people like in our score range on those.
First of all, you'd have to make it through the amateur tour.
Yeah, we could do it.
You have to get invited to that.
Okay, I know people.
Oh, yeah.
We'll send a message to Tiger Woods. I'm sure he just lets random people in.
Okay. Wow, God. I don't know how to respond to this.
Uh-oh.
Unvaccinated people on TikTok are fantasizing they'll be lone survivors of the COVID-19 pandemic. I think they got this backwards.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
They apparently think, this is just from reading the headline. I didn't read anything further. I have yet to.
It's just the headline.
Just the headline. But if I'm reading this headline and the way I interpret it is they believe that everybody who takes the vaccine are going to die.
Yeah.
And they're going to be the ones that didn't take it are the only ones going to be alive.
Yep. That's Idiocracy. Have you seen that movie?
Yeah. You did see the I did send you a TikTok yesterday. Did you actually watch it? The song that was playing when she was talking about, she's like, I think I know his theme song. He's like, I don't know much about science. I don't know much about history.
I did not watch it.
Yeah, see, that's right. You don't, dude, we're not even friends.
I don't click everything that people send me.
You should from me.
Oh, here we go.
Anyway.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I think Sammy watched it.
But anyway, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I've already brought it up, and I don't need to bring it up too many more times, but why would the government spend hundreds of billions of dollars on a vaccine and give it away for free? If they just wanted to kill you, then they lose their tax money. It doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I slept pretty good for a while.
Oh God, that sucked. If if the vaccination's this bad, how bad is COVID?
It's pretty bad.
Because the vaccination sucked. That was miserable for about a day. Like
take what you felt like.
It seriously felt like I had lead in all my joints, and it just hurt to move.
So, I told Sammy that my second shot felt worse than COVID, And she was like, "You're just not remembering." But I guess all I could say was like, that feeling that you got from the shot, just continue that for a week.
Ugh, it was so bad.
Oh, we're gonna have to jump back in here.
That's okay, because we're done talking about it. Tired of COVID, and I'm tired of politics, and they lost, they won, get over it. Who cares?
All right, and we're back.
I'm over it.
You're over it.
I got a legit rant though.
Yeah.
Yeah. This lady and the forest rangers in Yellowstone are actually looking for a woman because she disregarded the park rules. And this is what drives me crazy about this. People every year, because we live in this, I love Montana, but we have Glacier Park and we have Yellowstone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Two really cool parks. If I had to pick one, I would take Glacier every day. But people, for some reason, go to these parks thinking that these animals that they encounter are pets.
No, they're not.
This lady apparently walked within a few hundred feet of a grizzly bear because she wanted her photo taken with it.
Well, I mean,
it charged at her.
It's the Kodak bear.
It charged at her. Didn't get her, but it charged at her because you're too close. And so the park rangers are looking to talk. I mean, because there's a 100-yard rule in Yellowstone, I believe, for staying within more than 100 yards from, at least 100 yards from bears. And honestly, I don't think that's far enough. Do you want to know how fast the bear can close 100 yards? A lot faster.
Am I covered in honey?
A lot faster than I could do it.
Now running downhill.
They say that, but I'm not willing to try because I probably trip, fall, and then you just eat me at the bottom.
Everyone would look like the bear.
Yeah.
Rolling downhill.
Yeah. But I've seen these videos of people who walk up to bison in Yellowstone, and there's a viral one out there. They don't show the whole video, but they show part of it where she's being thrown into a tree. Back that video up 30 seconds. She walks up to it and kicks it so it'll stand up so she can get her picture with it. Honestly, if someone kicked me, I'm going to throw them in a tree too.
So I thought it'd be funny just to type in, "Are wild animals pets?" on Google, because
you never know.
You could just ask that question.
There are people who buy tigers.
The very first thing, and it's just like a thing that pops up. It says, "Interesting finds. Ask an expert. Wild animals are not pets."
They are not. So if you're going to a national park, stay away from the wildlife. Okay, take a long lens camera. Okay.
Well,
even the prairie dogs.
I mean, let's
as cute and cuddly as they are.
Let's walk through the scenario. We're sitting there. We're at a park. There's a grizzly. We have our phone. We go, "Can I walk up to a grizzly?"
No.
But I mean, like, this is the kind of stuff that people should be able to do.
No, you shouldn't even have to do that. It should be common sense going, that's a bear.
Just in case.
Double.
And, staying safe around bears is the first thing that comes up here. And it says to keep your distance.
Like, there is no safe distance, in my opinion, from a bear. Like, I mean, they are so, and people don't realize how big they are.
Oh, man, this is funny. If you encounter a grizzly, do not run. Avoid direct eye contact. As soon as I saw that, the first thing that comes into my brain is, why does he think he can beat me in a staring contest?
Stare down.
Yeah,
and me.
Let's see who's got this. Walk away slowly if the bear is not approaching. If the bear charges, stand your ground. You cannot outrun it.
You can do like 40, all right? Me on my best day, 10.
I just like to see it. Some of these. If you have pepper spray, prepare to use it.
Yeah.
I hear the voice as you're writing these things.
So I just, like, every year there are people who go into these national parks and they're like, oh, they look so cute and cuddly, and I'm going to get close to it to get my picture taken. I remember as a kid, we went to Yellowstone, and there are animals everywhere. I kid you not. Like, we were at the hotel we were sitting at, there were 3 elk laying in the grass area right next to the hotel. They're like 15 feet from the door. They're just laying there. Now, mind you, elk are the size of horses.
Yeah.
You come from moose country, man. I mean, how big are those things? And elk aren't a lot smaller than those.
You know, I've never went and stood by a moose.
You don't want to.
But I can tell you that I was fishing once, and my dad said to reel in the line, and I was like, "Why?" He's like, "There's a moose coming," and it swam like I could have hit its antler. Swam right by the boat. That antler was like the size of me.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so here, if I'm giving you the scenario here, which would you rather have come upon you, a grizzly or a moose?
Grizzly.
Yeah. Moose are nuts, man. Moose are responsible for more deaths in Canada and Alaska than any other animal.
Yeah, I've heard stories of transport trucks hitting them and then them walking away.
Well, they rip the tops off of cars because they're so tall.
Yeah, but that breaks their ankles usually.
Yeah.
That happens, but they're big.
I just, sometimes I just want nature to take its course. Like, if you're willing to go with this, man,
I remember
all for a photo.
My dad took me bow hunting, and we were going for deer, and there was a moose.
Walk away slowly, bro.
No, he was like, I wonder. Well, we're maybe like 50 yards, and all I remember was him going, and you just heard it go, and it just fell off of it. And he was like, "Run, boy!" We went up a tree so fast.
So here's my thought: if you really want your picture taken with a bear or a moose that badly, get a big telephoto lens, get it as tight as you can, take the picture, Photoshop your moron self into that picture, and be like, "I was standing there."
Yeah, people like me, you can pay to do that.
Because then you safely got your picture taken with an animal.
Yeah, or you could always do the trickery where. You make something that's really small look bigger.
I do that all the time. Why can't you hold a straight face?
Because I know what you're talking about.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. Because of the look you gave.
What look?
The look of, this is personal now.
Nothing's personal in here. So,
what's next on the music docket?
Yeah.
Some country.
Oh. Who created this list?
You did.
Oh, yeah?
If it was me, it would have probably all been country. All right, what do we got? We've got American Soldier, Toby Keith coming up.
I thought we already heard that one, but I can't remember. Why don't you come up with a rant? What
I haven't been.
Oh, really?
I've been contributing.
You did the gun thing today.
Yeah, I did.
That's easy. So, how are you feeling after last night?
No, we are not talking.
Come on.
No.
Let it out. We got Game 7 tomorrow.
I just want to watch Game 7 alone. That's what I feel like.
Just in your basement by yourself with a blanket over your head, just going.
Well, so what I end up doing is, like last night, if I was watching that by myself, I would have shut it all off. I would have started playing video games, and then I would have went back in after I saw they scored a goal.
So let's discuss. We can discuss. You are weirdly like every other sports guy. You have these weird. Like I can't. I wore this shirt the last time I won. I have to keep wearing this shirt. Very superstitious like that, right?
Not like
they
that bad.
They only won because I wore my hat today. Or they didn't win because I forgot to wear my Toronto hat today.
Well, I tried wearing my hat last night. It didn't work.
Well, but were you wearing it the game before?
No.
Because it didn't work then either.
No.
So
what happened is, Toronto, every time they have lost, I've watched it with you.
Huh, is that what it is? You think that's what it is, huh?
I'm just saying.
That's not true. Didn't they lose the other night when my daughter was at practice on Thursday?
Maybe.
I wasn't with you.
But you were messaging me.
Because they came back to tie that game in the third period as well and lost in overtime.
I'm weird when it comes to I just don't.
Like, seriously, you look like you were going to fall out of you're doing it now.
It's because I'm thinking about it
You're just
tomorrow.
like jittery.
I really like watching the team that I know about a lot play, and I hate that they can't get into the.
What would you do if you were at that game live?
There would be murdered people. I can't go watch.
Have you ever seen Toronto play live?
No.
You've never seen your favorite hockey team play live?
Nope, because I live too far away. And
sounds like a bad excuse to me.
Well, my dad wouldn't take me. It costs too much.
So you need to go to Montreal.
It's not a baseball game where it's $10 to watch a ball get hit by a stick. I just say that because that's how much it cost me to watch. I watched the Blue Jays play more because it was cheaper.
That's because the Blue Jays haven't been relevant.
They won back-to-back World Series in 92 and 93.
93, 94, because the Twins won at 92.
No, I'm telling you.
The win.
When did the Blue Jays win?
Or was it 91? It might have been the Twins in 91. It might have been 89, 91.
92, 93.
Yeah. The Twins went 89, 91. I had the banner. That's why.
Right. I had the newspaper clipping.
Ooh.
And it was Joe Carter.
You could read?
Hit a grand slam in the 92 series to win it.
So that's only 30 years ago. That was the last time they were relevant.
Hey, I've never seen Toronto win a cup, but I've seen the
Raptors?
The Raptors win, and I've seen the Blue Jays win.
I was at a wedding. I was a ring bearer at a wedding in the 91 World Series.
Oh, man, if Toronto was playing for the Stanley Cup and my buddy was like, hey, my wedding's this day, and it was Game 7, I would not go. I would not be at that wedding.
It'd be tough.
Yeah, I'd be like, you gotta understand, priorities, man.
But what's really crazy about that series with the Canadians and Toronto is that you guys are still a game behind. The Series 2 is the second round is already kicked off because you guys had to quarantine.
Yeah.
But then they allowed 19,000 fans in that game?
Yeah, they all had to prove they were vaccinated.
Yeah.
But that was in Quebec. I don't know if Toronto's gonna allow fans.
So how many Toronto fans do you think snuck across border?
All of them.
To be very disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just trying to see if Toronto's going to be allowed to have fans. It's not coming.
They may not have made that decision yet.
Yeah.
Although my wife looked up for Avalanche tickets to go watch the Avalanche Knights.
How much was that?
Not cheap.
Yeah, no, it's never cheap in the playoffs.
But
you're looking at anywhere from like 200 and up.
Yeah,
I think in Canada it's 500 and up.
But I mean, to go say you watched a playoff hockey game, like I've seen semi-pro hockey live, and I've seen, I call it semi-pro. It's technically pro. They don't really have a semi-pro. It's college and then pro and then different levels of pro. But hockey is so fast, and there's nothing like it live.
Yeah. I've watched Ottawa because I lived in Ottawa for a while, and it's when they weren't horrible. I watched them.
They've been horrible the last couple of years. I mean, it's not like they're always been terrible.
Do it again.
Is it still in the Toby Keith song? Hey man, it's your program.
It's like playing the song again. So I'm just going to skip.
So what's the song after that?
It is Fortunate Son.
Oh, hey, a little CCR.
Well, nobody wants to hear the same song for 7 minutes.
Nope. You're the one who picked the songs, man.
No, you did.
No, you typed them in and you picked which versions.
Yeah, but it's playing them longer than it's supposed to. Oh, man. I'm excited to eat tonight.
Spaghetti.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, you didn't get snacks today.
I wasn't allowed.
Wasn't allowed snacks.
You know what? There's a rant.
What?
Right there. Why is it when our wives tell us to do something, we just do it?
Because easier that way?
But when we tell them to do something, we get in trouble.
I've never told my wife to do anything.
Ugh.
Have you? Oh, the fact that you have to think about it says a lot. Wait, have I?
I've suggested things.
Do you really suggest them, or do you like subliminal message them into your brain?
I might.
Like little hints laying around here and there.
Like where you leave, like if you want to take a trip to
perfect example is you didn't even ask your wife if you could buy skates. You bought skates and told your wife you bought skates.
Oh, no. So what I did, I had a conversation with her about how I was going to look for new skates.
Exactly. You didn't even say, I'm buying new skates. I'm just going to look and see what they got out there.
But then I found a good deal, so I bought them. And then I told her that I had bought them, and I wouldn't have bought them if I didn't have a good deal. And she did tell me that I do good research, because I usually research into things before I buy them if they're expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And she did roll her eyes a little bit.
I would too. There was a pretty big number. What?
They're hockey skates. They protect my ankles.
No, they don't. You wear ankle guards.
That's to protect them even more. Well, I don't play beginner. And I mean, Sammy wants ankle guards now after
she took a shot in the ankle. That hurt. I took one in the foot, and I actually wear goal skates, which are designed with extra protection, and it still hurt.
Yeah. I hope somebody shoots a slap shot and it breaks Carey Price's ankle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fact that he made that save off deflection, you have to stay with the glove. And you watched him track it.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
That's why I said he's actually from the future. He can see like 10 seconds into the future. And the only way to beat him is to have a play that it takes more than 10 seconds for him to get to.
If you guys have never seen Carey Price, and forget the rest of the Habs team, because they are not good at all. They're not good. Google or YouTube Carey Price highlights, and this is what he does every game. It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Toronto really needs to this next game. They got to play better in the first, because the second
they were outshot like 3-1.
Yeah,
in the first period, it was bad.
Because the second and the third period they did better. I actually thought they dominated.
They ended with 40 some shots compared to 30.
47 to 34, I think it was.
And at the end of the first period, wasn't it like 12-2 or 12-3? It was bad.
Well, we'll see what happens this time, because Carey Price is clearly making it so Montreal staying in.
Well, I know his offense isn't helping him out all that much. They got the 2 goals, but they didn't do much.
Well, they got 2. One. They got 1 weird goal last night. Montreal did. But, I mean, overtime was a little bit more enjoyable to watch, even though Toronto didn't win.
Right.
And that's always good. I hate watching, and I mean, you might be the same way, but I hate watching blowouts. Now, Game 7, it could be a blowout.
I'm a Minnesota Wild fan, and I don't know if you noticed this. On Friday, they lost 6-2.
Yeah, but we expected that.
I did, didn't I? Like before he even came over.
You've been telling me that they were going to lose every game since the start of the playoffs.
Because they usually do. They usually 4 out.
I'm just happy that we got to see our teams play in the playoffs.
Can you imagine what would happen if they ended up playing each other?
Well, you would have been like, looks like you're going to win because my team always loses.
No, we would have beat you guys.
No way.
You guys played on to the level of your opponents, and you're bad about it.
Yeah. But it still doesn't mean we lose all the time.
You play better against better opponents, and you play like crap versus crap opponents.
Yeah, we like to give them equal opportunities. We're all about equality. I mean, maybe if we didn't have the geriatric guy on the team, but...
Give that guy a Santa hat, man.
Do you know how many times he's passed the puck and the goals happened after he...
3.
Yeah.
Exactly 3 times.
Freaking ridiculous.
And he's only turned it over 3 times, and each time turned into it.
And then I saw him on the power play, and I'm like, what? Why? I'm faster than he is.
I actually don't even know how fast you are. I haven't seen you skate all out yet.
Not many people do. You will.
You think I'm actually going to go watch you play?
Yeah, you said you were.
Oh, well, I might have lied.
might have lied.
Just to make you feel better.
Oh, it's almost top of the hour.
Top of the hour. I'm trying to find, I don't know, anything not sportsy to talk about. But there's not much for new.
It's really hard.
Well, because then, and no one's helping. If you guys want to help. I mean, we got a bit of interesting news last week about Bob Salvatore's series, which has to be dritzed because he's got nothing else.
Well, unless they're trying to make it just like a one and done kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
Are you back on again?
yeah. All right. That was Born in the USA. Had a little bit of weird stuff going on lately with this music. It is doing the thing again where it wants to replay the same song again and again. So we had Toby Keith there for about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
But it is almost the top of the hour. So thank you for listening to Average Rants here at KNMC 90.1 FM here in Average. The only radio station that has Average Rants.
Yeah. You guys want to go into the radio station? Okay.
We could do a tour.
We could do a tour.
Man, people call in and be like, hey, I want to win a tour of the station. Be like, well, just come on down.
I could give you guys a live tour right now. I just got to rotate about 10 degrees on the laptop here.
Don't make it sound like it's not amazing.
There's lots of flashy thingies in here, though.
I gotta see if there is actually some events going on. Man, there actually isn't any real events going on right now.
Well, most people think, everybody's going out camping or vacationing over Memorial Day weekend. You know what's kind of weird, though? It's like we have Memorial Day weekend, so there's nothing going on tomorrow either because everybody gets day off. But my kid has to go to school for 2 more days.
Well, because they're clearly going to get more education.
Yeah, those last 2 days.
Yeah, the teachers have probably already checked it.
Yeah. You're watching video.
Yeah, I remember the last
we didn't ever watch. We watched film strips where you had to put a tape in and hope you hit it at the right time so it would keep on with the film strip. Man,
we were at that rich. We had VCRs.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I was well. We've been talking a little bit of hockey while you guys were listening to too much Toby Keith. You remember that hit where Reeves back checked Suter in the back right into the goalpost?
Yeah.
There's no hearing for Reeves. He's not even going to get looked at for a fine.
They don't actually care.
So I just that irks me. Hitting a dude in the back when he's not looking and then smashing his face into the goalpost. I mean, come on. That was a bunch of garbage. Anyhow, I'm trying to get away from sports, but I just scrolled into that.
I mean, my life is all around sports at the moment. Besides, family.
Well, we had game night last night, even though you were busy whining that your team was winning.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was pretty fun, actually, doing D&D live again.
Right, we actually had.
And Sam even said, she was like, I had so much fun playing that, and she's like, it may have been the alcohol.
But there's something about, we learned with the pandemic that it is possible to do that style of game, tabletop games, through the internet, which is fun and all, but there's nothing like having that contact with people in the same room.
Oh, yeah, and you can't hide, so it's not like I couldn't mute and say bad things about you to Sammy.
You wouldn't have muted your mic anyway. You just said it.
Well, I would have said it and then be like, oh, I didn't mute. Sorry, man.
Sarcastically.
Sorry,
I didn't mute that.
Sorry, everybody.
And you feed off everyone else's energy at the table.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, she really got into her character. Didn't translate into going home though.
She was kind of an interesting character.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and I liked your pathological liar.
You could never tell if I was lying or telling the truth. Is he lying? No. Yeah, probably.
Hey, well, my guy was a captain that is 2'11".
He was. Go captain.
He's gonna get a lance.
Oh, jeez.
And then I'll learn acrobatics so I could balance on the lance, so I could be at the same height as everybody. But yeah, I mean, it is a beautiful day outside.
We
should be outside listening to us because we wish we could broadcast from outside right now. At least I do, unless you're afraid of getting like a small tan.
Oh, so apparently it's not nerdy news or anything like that, but it is kind of an interesting story. They have found a species of piranha in Georgia.
Oh,
It's not supposed to be there.
I don't know. It shouldn't be.
Just one. They've only found one fish.
Hopefully, it didn't have eggs.
They're really, yeah. Like, can you imagine if something like that? Like, we already have this problem, right? It happens all over the place.
You know, people get exotic animals and then try to get rid of them when they don't want
Well,
them.
the South right now, since Hurricane Katrina, is being overrun with pythons because people had them as pets, and Katrina hit, and it never gets cold enough down there for anything to, for them to not survive. So, yeah, it was rather interesting.
Ugh, I couldn't even imagine. I had a buddy from the Philippines that is terrified of snakes, and he said it was because one day he was in his classroom and a big one just went by over his feet because they had like the dirt floors there.
Yeah. So there's that. And this is kind of cool. Well, it's sad, really, but it's interesting. So we don't know much about the very bottom of our ocean, right?
Mm-hmm.
How deep it is. Well, a Filipino scientist makes first journey to the third deepest ocean trench on Earth, right? It's somewhere in the Philippines. He was super duper excited, and they get down there, and it takes, what did it say? It takes like 10 hours to get down there to do the dive. And they're like, oh, we're wondering what we're going to see down here. And they look out, and they see this white material floating around. And they're like, oh, it's jellyfish. And then they approached it, and it was a plastic bag. So, and they kept going down, and they found plastics, a pair of pants, a shirt, a teddy bear, packaging. Like, this is in the deepest parts of our oceans. So they're like, so when you throw something away, it just doesn't stay there.
Or
it goes someplace else.
Bear with me. Atlantis.
Oof. Have you seen the? Oh. Not Sasquatch is that. There are people who believe that mermaids exist.
They do,
right?
Clearly.
They want to be part of our world.
But it's not what people think. They have the lower half of a human and the top half of a fish.
Huh?
You ever seen that?
No.
It's where the top half is the fish because
shark head. I've seen Maui.
It would make more sense because of the gills,
right?
But then the bottom half is just feet to kick.
There was this weird mockumentary, I think it was on Discovery, about people discovering, and there's videos on YouTube, but God, don't use videos on YouTube unless it's ours for relevant sources of news and facts, because it's not vented at all. Mm-hmm. They just kind of let it go. But a footage of catching mermaids in nets and stuff. What the mock documentary, it was really interesting. It was weird. I watched it. It's been a while. But they say that the human species, as it evolved on land, we started to go to the sea. And this has been proven that we started eating shellfish, and that's what triggered our brain function, right? More vitamins and minerals from seafood and stuff. That's proven that if you eat more seafood, shellfish, and stuff like that, it's good for you. But they say that instead of just living on the coast and staying on land, that some actually ventured to the sea and adapted to live in the ocean, and that's what mermaids do. Yeah. So it was a weird series.
But I mean, there is a lot of the ocean isn't explored. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there is they always have that.
They think megalodon still exists.
I don't know if that does. I feel like we'd see that by now.
It's a shark the size of a ship.
Yeah, and it eats things.
But they do find giant squid, like legit, like hundreds of feet long, on the beaches.
But they never see them.
They have caught footage of them live.
Have they?
Very rare, but there is some footage out there.
I just, I wouldn't be surprised because we haven't explored even a quarter, I think, of our oceans.
And they have found like the bodies of giant eels that are just like 30 or 40 feet long. I mean, that's just crazy.
But it'd be cool if there's like that pocket area somewhere down there that. Can you imagine if they went down and they found like this like undertow and they went in and it was like this huge area all like with some prehistoric animals in it? Like that would be like mind blowing.
They what was I reading the other day? They found a species of, I can't remember what it was, that they thought had gone extinct over 100 years ago, and they found one. A turtle, a tortoise. It was some type of Galapagos tortoise. And the scientists looking like, no, those are supposed to have been extinct for 100 years. They haven't seen one since like the early 1900s. And they're like, now they're scrambling to find a second one so they can get some baby turtles. Like the Tasmanian tiger. They thought for years that thing was extinct, but now there's more and more sightings of them.
Well, that's just people going around painting stripes
on wild dingoes.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it would be cool if we could find some things, but it's kind of weird. I know that we're always like we focus so much on space. Like we've been to Mars with the rover now, but we still haven't explored our own planet.
Well, you can't get to the bottom of the ocean.
If they put the amount of effort that they put into trying to get to the moon to get.
They say we're going back.
But you know what I mean? Yeah. We could explore the oceans.
Well, for what purpose? Like what? I mean,
it's kind of just knowledge, because I bet you there's things down there. Like there could be even like bones and remains or ships.
Well, they have in let's see. I think it's the Black Sea, but I could be wrong. But the water it's so deep, and the water is so cold, and nothing could survive in it because of how cold and the salinity of the water, that they found the remains of boats from before the Roman Empire, perfectly preserved at the bottom of this thing. And they're like they were launched yesterday because the water is so deep and it's so cold, and none of the microbes that normally would eat the wood and break it down, it just perfectly preserves it.
Yeah, I just think I think we would learn more about ourselves if we could explore more of our own planet. I mean, to me, the more we explore space, the more we're looking for a new place to go. Because that's what it kind of feels like to me.
What do we got here?
Did we get sent something?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you check that out.
I gotta read.
I don't know how to read.
I can pick out some words.
There's a W. But no, I don't know. I just would like to know I don't have a whole lot longer on this earth, and
I don't know. New research says you might.
What, they're going to put my brain in a
Well,
robot?
they have research saying now that the human body can actually live a lot longer than 100, like longer than 100 years. They're pushing almost 150.
Yeah, but I'd have to eat better, and I can't do that.
You need to leave this country for one, because we're so bad about that. But
especially you guys don't even have taxes on your food here, and
no, they do in other states. That's just
I know,
Montana.
but I just mean like Montana, yeah. But where I'm from, it's like 12% to 14% tax on candy too. It's like a freaking buffet down here.
Well, that's kind of an interesting story she sent. That's kind of sad. It does meet the Memorial Day thing. So it's on ABC News. Navy SEAL and Green Beret killed in Afghanistan, leaving Marine brother the sole survivor. So of 3 brothers, all served. The 2 of the brothers were 10 and 8 years older. They both served over in Afghanistan. One in number. Let me make sure I get this right. One was a Green Beret. The other was a SEAL, and the one who lived as a Marine. That's got to be tough. Like he followed. Like it just. The whole story talks about how him and his being the littlest of the bunch. Right? Can you imagine having like brothers that are 10 and 8 years older than you?
No, I only have sisters.
Yeah, well, you thought your sisters were mean. Just try brothers, because you would just be the guinea pig for everything. But it does talk about how like he followed his big brothers around all the time, and apparently when it came to sign up for the military, he followed suit. But they went into combat, and he's the only one who came home. That's kind of sad. But they are a band of brothers, literally in that sense.
I mean, because I don't think it's a true story. It might be Saving Private Ryan.
No, it was loosely based on some events, but it wasn't.
But I mean, it gives you the idea of, I know that if all brothers went over there, they would try to, if one was still alive, they would do whatever they could to bring the one home.
Well, they actually bring it up in the movie because it did happen. There were a series of brothers. I can't remember if there was 3 or 4 of them, but 2 separate ships got hit, and the brothers were on those 2 boats, and they were all killed in action because of the boat. So they made it a priority to separate family members if they were all serving from each other, so they weren't all in the same place at the same time.
That'd be tough though, because I mean,
right.
Like I don't have any brothers, but if I was serving and I wasn't with them, I would probably do what I could to find them, especially like World War I and World War II stuff. Like I was, of course, I was never there, but
think
I did
about
a lot of history stuff.
So think about in the Civil War when you had brothers. Literally, there's stories of brothers who were across the lines from each other.
Yeah. Well, there's that picture, like the statue of the 2 brothers,
yeah,
where they dropped fighting so that they could just hug each other on the battlefield.
Right. Like it was like, for me, like my class when it was crazy because that was 9/11. My class was 9/11. Like we were all seniors when 9/11 happened, and I could think off a hand like a half a dozen to a dozen guys that ran out and enlisted right after 9/11. Yeah. I've never been the kind of guy who wanted to be in the military. Thank goodness they don't open the draft anymore. But
I went to sign up for a Canadian one just to try to get free education.
That's what a lot of people
do. I didn't want to do anything but the Air Force.
Right.
And
can you imagine flying around a jet would be sweet?
That was 1 point off from being allowed to be
was it your eyesight?
Nope. It was, I didn't know what an ORIAD was.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it was so, like, I went to that test that they make you do. They make you do, like, an IQ test kind of thing.
Well, they call it the ASVAB here. I kept getting phone calls forever.
Like, some of the questions on there were like, it was like, which one of these is a mythical creature? And I was like, why does this? It's a mythical creature. It's not going to, an ORIAD isn't going to come and attack me while I'm flying.
You couldn't figure out the weird one you didn't recognize was the mystical
They
creature?
all sounded like that. It was like the Oriad, the Iquatana, the Quantise.
You never know. But yeah, I have, to everyone who signed up to join them. I mean, dude, thank you for your guys' service. I mean, it takes a lot to go over there.
It does, especially. I mean, the hard thing for me.
Well, to know, you had to know after 9/11 you were going into combat.
Oh yeah, for sure, 100%.
Like, you had to know. Like,
you were gonna get sent.
Yeah, like there was no doubt about it. And that was the one thing that I always had to ask myself: could I look down the barrel and take someone else's life? Could I do it? Now, if my life depended on it, I think I could. I'd like to think so, anyway. But
yeah, I don't know. I feel like I wouldn't be able to shoot somebody.
Well, it'd be hard. Although if they're shooting at you, I mean, your mind changes in a hurry.
Yeah, but I might just be that guy being like, you missed.
You are Canadian.
Yeah. I'd be like, sorry.
Sorry you missed me.
Sorry about that. You wasted bullets.
But
want to try again?
Oh, I moved. My bad. So no, but that's kind of a cool story. That it's sad at the same time that him and all his brothers, but the sacrifice that people are willing to make. I mean, that they make the ultimate sacrifice. They get to come home. For all those of you that say that it's my right to do that, well, it's your right because that person defended it.
It's true. I mean, it's weird for me because I don't have the same from Canada, right?
Yeah.
And
well, you kind of
the U.S. is very, very military, and Canada is more like I grew up understanding we had peacekeepers. Is what we called them. I think it's changed now, but we had like peacekeepers and stuff, and I don't know. It just I was always proud because both my grandparents fought in the wars, and yeah, I mean, I couldn't even imagine going over and.
Well, let's not forget. Okay, let's not forget that. Okay, so yeah, there are some that make the ultimate sacrifice, right? They lose their lives. My grandfather fought in, I think it was the Korean War. He got a Bronze Star. He pulled a man from a burning tank. But what happens to these? We send these guys over, right? And they come back, and we expect them to just stop.
Oh,
like
yeah.
you just got to turn it off. You just can't turn that off.
And that's like telling somebody to go to Comic-Con and then come back and not talk about it. Right? Like, you can't do it.
Like, and these guys spend the rest of their lives. Like, I have several family members who were in the military. They don't talk. They don't brag about their time in the military.
No.
You don't see many soldiers, and we play hockey with a few of them. They don't brag about their time in the military.
And I hate it because I've seen it, like, it's a little different in Canada, but I have seen it down here where I work, or I play hockey with some guys, and I hate it when you hear somebody ask them the question of, did you ever have to kill anybody?
Don't ask that question.
Yeah, why would you ask that?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to say that they
did. And they don't want to. Like, the one thing you hear this is from my perspective, is like when we're sitting in the locker room, we hear guys talking about their time. They're talking about the times that they were in their barracks goofing around with their brothers.
Yeah.
Right? They're not bragging about the time that they took down a convoy or something like that. That's they don't even mention that stuff. That's the stuff that.
Yeah, it's because they don't want to remember it. It's kind of like like you and I, if we had an amazing day. And then
the first person I want to tell is when I get home. I want to tell. Like, I started a new job recently, and I'm learning all kinds of new stuff. First person I want to tell is like, I did something cool today.
Right, but I mean, you tell them about the good things, and anything that was horrible.
I don't tell her I broke the machine today.
Hey, you don't talk about that.
I almost lost my job because I was.
I mean, especially like killing somebody. Like,
and the mental and physical.
You don't want to do it.
And the mental toll that these guys carry with them, and we see it all the time with the.
in my mind, if somebody's going into the military because they're like, oh, I get to shoot people, don't put them in the military.
I also went to school with a bunch of other.
Right, because that's not what it's for. You're there to protect people. You don't want to shoot people,
Right.
And the only time that you do is when it's like that scenario I gave earlier with the fence.
And you can see now that it's like, especially with the big militaries like the United States and all that stuff, they're finding ways to put fewer troops in combat with technology. Like we have bombs that will blow up, drill down about 30 feet, and blow up again in a week after they've rebuilt whatever we just blew up. Right?
Yeah, eventually it's going to be Terminator.
So
the machines will rise.
But I know I've gamed and I've played hockey with guys that are suffering from the trauma that they go through over there, and they're never the same again.
Yeah.
Like you hear stories that they're the moms that see their sons that come back from overseas after spending a tour or two over there, and they're like, "That's not my son. That's not who that was." And then we expect them to just, consort. Like, you got to go back to normal civilian life. It's hard. I would never know what that's like because I've never done it. But to those who can do it,
yeah, I'm at an age where I can't. I don't think we're even allowed. The only time that would happen
if we were of age and they heard this, they wouldn't even let us. No.
You are banned.
You guys want to do the radio?
Oh man, we could be like Good Morning Vietnam.
How well that work out for him?
Yeah, he was sending codes. We could do the code sending stuff.
You could.
Although I'd probably give it away. I'd be like, "What was the code?" Sorry, let's get to more music.
Some more music.
This is a little sad talk stuff.
Well, it's a sad weekend, but
it's a sad weekend, but it's nice out.
It is.
You could be drinking beer and you could be enjoying the sun. And there's no better way than listening to some good music.
Yeah, as long as it doesn't repeat itself over and over.
I don't know. I'll try to fix it. I'll monitor. All right, here you go. Here's letters from home. John Michael Montgomery. Ooh, country again.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm talking about.
I should tell you, my cousin. I have a cousin, Dan. He looks just like him, John Michael Montgomery. He's got this. I'm assuming you know who John Michael Montgomery is, right?
Yes, I know who John Michael Montgomery is.
Well, I don't know. You're from Canada. You guys have country singers up there?
Garth Brooks.
He's not Canadian. He's from Oklahoma. Nice try. But he's got the same dimples, and he looks just like him. It was just so funny. Oh, Garth Brooks. Really, that's all you got.
I don't know.
You guys got Celine
Dion,
Bryan Adams.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Okay, that's a power. Do you think they should do a duet?
That would be pretty crazy. I know he did one with Sting.
Who?
Bryan Adams.
Well, they look alike.
They're brothers, man.
All right. Who else? Canada's got some good comedians.
Yeah.
Some of the best ones, honestly. Most of Saturday Night Live were all Canadian.
What is that? Russell Peters? I think that's his name.
Who's Russell Peters?
He is the most racist comedian that everyone's okay with.
I don't know. Have you listened to Daniel Tosh?
I don't think so.
Well, he is.
Well, Russell Peters makes fun of every.
Yeah.
And he's.
Daniel Tosh did a skit about every race and what they taste like. Do Chinese taste like Chinese food? And are you hungry 10 minutes later?
I don't know.
Right?
They're eating a Chinese person.
So, no. Canada's got Shania.
Yeah, Shania Twain.
Well,
but she doesn't sing anymore.
Kinda.
Okay, what was the most recent song that you can remember from Shania Twain?
I don't know.
The only one that came to mind was Who's Bad Everybody's
I'm not going to lie. When I watched Shania Twain when I was in high school, I just hit the mute button. I didn't really care what she sounded like.
Oh, you just wanted to look?
Wouldn't you?
No, I was never attracted to Shania Twain.
My brother was. Big time. And I don't know any of these. Katie Lang, never heard of her. Him. Her. I don't know if it's him or her. It's a weird photo. Yeah, you guys don't have much for Chad Brownlee, your uncle.
It's not my uncle.
Well, it's spelt the same. You could be related to him.
No. I don't think so.
Are you sure? Let's see where he's from.
I don't think that's going to prove that I'm related to him.
What city are you from?
I'm from Belleville, Ontario.
Belleville, Ontario.
That's where I was born.
He's from Kelowna? Kelowna?
What?
Whatever that word is. Oops.
Kelowna?
From British Columbia.
Oh, yeah. No, that's
He's your brother from another mother.
That's the other side of the world.
Come on, he's got his own Facebook page. I don't know who else Canada has for country music stars. You guys have any? Besides that, Celine. And quit trying to steal Garth. He's Oklahoma.
Yeah, but he talks Canadian.
I don't think he does.
Yeah, he does.
He talks Oklahoman.
No. I don't say I talk Ontarioan. I say I talk Canadian.
But I will tell you, and you've been through the states, right?
Mm-hmm.
Different states have different languages.
And different IQs.
You could say that about the provinces up in Canada too.
We're pretty close though. It's not like you're just talking about cities.
What about Quebec?
That's not part of Canada.
Yeah, as you keep telling me, it's French. They're French.
That's why like people are like, oh, it's the Battle of Canada with Toronto and Montreal. They're like, no, it's the Battle of Quebec and Ontario.
Quebec.
That's why like if Toronto loses this.
So I used to be big into UFC back when it first in the early 2000s, mid 2000s.
Again.
Did it do it again? Did it do it again?
Yeah.
Totally did it again? Hey, I didn't do it. Why are guys from Quebec whose name are George have an S at the end of their name? Ooh. Like George St. Pierre. But if you look at his name, it's Georges because it's got an S in it. But he's from Quebec. Is it just a French thing?
Yeah. Sorry, I just tried to fix this.
Sorry. The machine's broken. There's nothing to do about it. Sorry.
This doesn't make sense.
I didn't do it. What are you legging them out?
Sammy just let me know that she just finished the pasta and she started when we started the show. So I guess I made too much.
Wow.
What's
That's terrible. Oh, but it's funny. And gross.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Anyway, we need to. Yeah. What else can I find here? Manatees are dying. That's not good. So you never watched Game of Thrones, did you?
No.
You didn't like it. They're releasing a prequel.
No?
So maybe Sean Bean won't die in the first 15 seconds. He's one of the, have you noticed there are certain actors that just seem to die in every movie they do?
So they're like the red shirt? Is that what it was?
I don't know.
From Star Trek? There was always like a red shirt that would die every time they went out.
Yeah. Aside from Hellboy, every other movie that I've ever seen Ron Perlman in, he always died. And Sean Bean seems to be like the same way. Like he died in the Lord of the Rings movie, like right away. He died in the Game of Thrones. He was like one of my only likable characters. I watched the first 2 seasons of Game of Thrones. Maybe I watched 3 seasons. But anyway, and they ended up killing him off right away. And I'm like, huh. Like I just don't understand the writing that he has. Like, oh, you're starting to like this character, he's gonna die. And what's weird about the series that's different from the books, everybody likes Tyrion Lannister, the little halfling dude. He's not a halfling, but he's a dwarf. Not a dwarf, but a dwarf. And everybody loves him in the series because he's so, he's comedy, he's funny, and I liked him too. But in the books, he was worse than any of his brothers or sisters.
I don't know. I just liked how you said a dwarf, but not a dwarf. Where a dwarf.
Not a beard dwarf, but he's a dwarf.
A little person,
short person. I was trying to say it.
I don't know what the PC is.
There is we've discussed this before. D&D is naturally a racist. Like, is it completely racist game?
I think every game is kind of racist because no matter what, when you're fighting other people, you don't like them.
I very rarely play humans.
Yeah, I know. It's boring.
I'm already a human.
Yeah. Why would I want to be me?
I play a lot of female characters. It's kind of weird.
I'm half and half, depends.
Right. Not because I don't believe that there's anything that a guy can do that a girl can't. Other than, there are a few exceptions to that, but outside of physical limit, outside of, yeah. Trying to phrase that without like, I believe that there's no job out there that a guy can do that a girl can't.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I think that we're putting gender barriers up because it's just stupid. Like what? Like why can't a guy be a hairdresser? Well, they are. They call them barbers. But why can't we call them a hairdresser?
Yeah, what if I want to be a hairdresser?
You should be a hairdresser.
I'd be very bad at it.
Yeah, you would. I flirt. I'm like, my wife is a perfect example. She works a male-dominant job. She's like one of like 4 or 5 females total that are employed by the railroad in this town.
We want to talk about that. My wife is in criminology.
Yeah, we're gonna die. No one's gonna find us.
She's only like, I don't even know, but like everywhere that she's went to work, it has been she's the only female.
Well, and it's not just that; it's the differences in pay are insane.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you get money based on your height, so
yeah. I did. Like, I don't get it. Like, we can get out of the 1950s any moment now. You're a house husband, right? Your wife goes to work.
It sucks, but it's great.
I did it for 6 months, I think, when my daughter was first born.
Oh yeah, the first 6 months. Woo!
No, the first few weeks were amazing. You're like, sweet video, because I mean, when my kid was just a baby, like she slept all the time. You didn't have to do much with her. But
I'm going on 7 years.
But there's only so many video games and Netflix series, and then you're like, I gotta do something,
right?
Like you are not doing it because you physically you can't. You're doing it because our country won't allow it.
Yeah, that's stupid.
Like you could work for.
I don't want to pay taxes.
I want to give you guys my money, and you won't take it. Please.
I'm taking opportunities away from people that don't want it.
Yeah. Stop taking my job, Barry.
I'll try. I wouldn't even know how to use a printer. Like you'd be like, now you got to clean the printer head, and I'd be like, that's disgusting.
Well, I don't work with a printer, so yeah.
or a copy machine.
Don't work with those either.
I don't know what you work with. A press?
I do.
A printing press is a printer.
No, it's not.
Yes. Does it make a piece of paper have
Nope.
writing on it?
Nope.
You don't use paper?
Yep.
We're gonna switch over here. We're gonna keep going on.
You're gonna keep going on this?
Yeah, we're gonna keep going on. A
So-
printing press is a printer. What is the difference between the two then?
Huh?
What is the difference between? Okay, so like a printing press, do you put paper in it,
Mm-hmm.
and then it stamps an image onto it, right?
You're
Because you press the image onto.
you're talking very, very. Okay, so if you're looking
Because I know the very
base-
first printing press, very first one,
Mhm.
was they put letters down.
That's called a letter press,
Yeah, and then they would press the letters into.
and it would leave an impression on
Yeah.
the paper. Right.
Right.
Right. So a printing press is similar.
Wait, a printing press. Okay, we're getting
It's
close to the
similar.
word printer.
Is similar to a printer, but a printer can only do. This is hard to explain. First of all, printing presses move way faster, but there were also. They're not so much depending on the press you're using. Like I can only print one color at a time, or two colors technically. To whereas a printer, depending on how many inks you have in there, I think most printers nowadays use
3.
they use the mix.
Oh yeah, they have that like that
See
thing
it,
that has the
cyan, magenta, yellow, and black, and you can make any color.
Those are pro ones. The standard ones are just red, blue, green.
Well, that's RGB.
Yeah.
RGB for printing, and this is going to get really boring. RGB is for Pantone printing, which is like magazines and posters. You use RGB. For newspapers and stuff like that, you use CMYK. Jelly. Printing is it's an interesting business. Technology's kind of people don't realize how much stuff that they get every day is actually printed on a printing press, though.
I know this newspaper was,
Man, it was.
but it's not today's.
Nope. For any election ballot you get comes from a printing press. That's not digital.
So anything that needs to be printed in a large quantity fast.
Quickly, very quickly. Yeah. I'd imagine it's getting quicker with some of the digital printers, but that's not cost effective either. The printing presses are so much cheaper. So
it's just a fast printer.
it's a printing press. They're not the same.
It sounds the same to me.
It sounds the same to you.
Like I could print this newspaper off on my printer at home.
No, you couldn't.
I could.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah, I could. If you gave me the paper.
You have the paper.
I do. I should do it. I'll show you. I'll be like, look, it looks the exact same.
You
But it just took me 5 minutes rather than a second.
you think you can get a paper that big through your printer?
Yeah, I can. I have the setting for it. Has the newspaper set.
The 23.5 inch wide paper setting.
Oh no! I could do the 1 page, and then I would have
So-
to print another page.
When newspapers print, they print this wide, right?
Yeah, like I said, it would take me 5 minutes, not a second.
So, and it prints both sides at the same time.
Was that the mugshots of the week?
I don't know.
Or was, I just saw,
Saluting National Police Week.
Oh.
Yeah, so.
I just quickly saw like a whole bunch of pictures, and then you moved it. Now I feel bad because it was police officers and I said mugshots.
But, I mean, what's the difference?
I guess.
I mean, I guess a mugshot could be just like, hey, you're going to jail, here's your mugshot. But isn't any headshot basically a mugshot?
No, because I have done some where I look fantastic.
And you have done some where you don't.
Yeah, I was supposed to. I was in character.
By the way, where's that video of you eating a banana?
What? Oh
You're-
my
You're
goodness.
supposed to do that. You said you could do it.
Hey, maybe that's what we should do. We could but we don't have enough viewers for it to actually work. You know, like if we could get people to record themselves trying to make it look cool to eat a banana.
So here's the challenge, and I'm posting this challenge to everybody over there. It is impossible to look cool while eating a banana.
I think you can do it.
You still have yet to do it.
I don't look like The Rock. If I look like him, I'd make it look cool.
We've seen Maui on the Disney movie Moana eating a banana. He still doesn't look that cool.
Cooler than me eating a banana.
Well, that's because he's jacked and you're not.
It could be.
Well, it starts now because your wife isn't letting you eat more snacks here.
Yeah.
So, for those of you out there who want a TikTok challenge that won't kill you, I got it right now. I just thought of it. I read the story before I came here today. There's these TikTok challenges, man, are driving me crazy. People are seeing things on the internet and doing them without thinking about it. So there was this 13-year-old girl who didn't want her tongue pierced, but she wanted to look that way. So she bought some rare earth magnets, the little round ones, right? And apparently if you put one on the top of your tongue and one on the bottom of your tongue, the magnets, being magnets, attract to each other, right? Yeah. And it looks like your tongue has been pierced. Well, her mother got concerned after a few weeks because the daughter had severe intestinal pain and stomach pain. Well, she had swallowed a bunch of them. 15 of them.
Huh.
And they had to go in and emergency surgery remove parts.
Well, because they would cling together in her intestine.
Yeah, they got stuck in her appendix, so she had to have her appendix removed. And then part of her intestines had to be removed too because they got stuck together. Like, people, seriously, if you're going to do a TikTok challenge, try to look cool while eating a banana. Don't put rare earth metals in your mouth.
I hate all the trends that technology, like the Tide Pod challenge happened because people were stupid. The cinnamon challenge, like I watch videos of that.
Here's another challenge you can try. Try eating a whole sleeve of saltine crackers without drinking a thing of water in under a minute.
Why?
That won't kill you.
Yeah, but at least our challenge with the banana is actually, you get some fun things with that.
You should see the saltine cracker one. It's pretty hilarious too.
But
we used to do it after work. It was just funny.
I just always find it weird, like, because you get that cinnamon one and people just go like, oh, bleh, and you're just like, well, what did you think was gonna happen?
Well, and the Tide, but that's different. Like, cinnamon ain't gonna kill you. It's gonna taste really bad.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't film, if I was like, hey man, if you stab yourself with this knife in your hand, it looks cool and it'll be funny.
No.
Nobody's gonna do it.
No.
But if you're like, hey, let's stick a thing of cinnamon in your mouth that dries your mouth out so quick. If you did try to swallow, you could choke on it.
So what was the basis behind the Tide Pod thing? I
don't know. I think it was just, I honestly feel like what happens with online stuff is
somebody faked the video and everybody thought it was real?
Somebody is like, you know what? I want to see if I can make people do stupid things.
Because if you, like, we have a dishwasher, right? And you could put the Tide Pod, or not the Tide Pods, but the pods as well.
Yeah.
But there's a skull and crossbones on that jug because the detergent is strong enough to literally eat 5-day-old dried food off of a plate.
Yeah.
What do you think it's going to do to your juicy insides?
Cure COVID.
Well, it will cure COVID. COVID's gone, so is the rest of them.
I have to eat through it too.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the weird, just why?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not supposed to eat it.
I saw it on the ground. I decided to try it.
Well, could you go to the same thing for those guys that are like in the circuses, the sword swallowers and stuff? You're not supposed to eat that either.
Yeah, I don't know why people do things that they do.
How did you figure out that you could do that?
And I'm one of those people too. Like, whenever I see somebody swallow a sword, like in those like the magic shows or whatever, and you watch it, I'm like, why? That's not entertainment.
My first question is, how did he figure out he could do it?
Well, yeah.
Not the third guy in line.
They start with
the very first guy who swallowed a sword. What scenario?
They start with brats.
what scenario back in the day, because you know that they were doing this in ancient times, right?
Yeah.
What scenario back in the day led to him? Well, I gotta one up everybody, so I'm gonna take that 6 foot long blade.
No, what happened was
Swallow.
the guy was like, I need you to swallow this sword, and that's how we're going to kill you. And he went, and he acted like he was dead. And then everyone left. He pulled it back out. He's like, how did that happen?
I don't even know. I don't. Well, weird. But we've had those in the circuses and stuff forever, and we didn't have that. Did we have that happen a lot where somebody died because they tried swallowing a sword? Because
I'm sure it's happened.
Or is it just that because of social media that everybody sees it more?
Maybe.
Like, because I got into an argument with a guy, and I don't want to bring up the whole shooting thing again, but people are like, well, the mass shootings have just recently happened. I'm like, have they? Or is it just more out there because of social media?
Yeah, it is a little bit more. Well, it's easier to get information these days than even when I was in high school.
Oh, yeah.
And when I was in high school, I remember like the 9/11 newscast going up. And it was
so this is how dense I am. I was getting ready for school after 9/11. The TV was on. I glanced at it a couple times, saw a plane. It didn't even dawn on me. I went to school. Everybody is just like freaking out, right? You remember that you probably went to school the day of?
Yeah, I was in school because
it was a Monday, wasn't it?
I went into the teachers' like lounge area because they pulled me in when I was walking by to watch what was happening.
Yeah, it was like a Monday, I think, that happened.
I can't remember.
And I'm like, what is going on? Like, you don't know? I'm like, no. Am I supposed to? And yeah, that was, and then the next thing I knew, I watched the towers collapse.
Yeah, I remember that, and I remember the news station. I mean, we would have had it in Canada, so I don't know what it would have been like down here. But there was no.
What's that thing doing?
Nothing.
Oh. We're talking.
Yeah. There was no.
I keep forgetting we're not.
There were no assumptions. So like the reporters were like, we are telling you this as we can get the information. We don't know what's going on. All we know is what we're seeing. But I feel like if you had that same thing happen right now, every news station would make assumptions onto why this is happening.
Yeah.
Because I remember when we were pulled in, we were told we had no idea that it was people that hijacked planes.
Right.
There were just planes crashing into it.
So I worked in the newspaper business for a long time, right? The thing that drives me nuts about newspapers is the fact that they have an opinion page in them. And it's not because I don't think people should have an opinion. Everyone should have an opinion. My biggest problem with the opinion pages is people read opinion and take it as fact. Let's be very clear. Opinion is not fact. It is an opinion. It is what you believe.
Well, our whole show is opinions.
Exactly. Don't ever believe a word we say.
But we're 100% opinion facts.
So while I do know when the paper I worked at, we made sure to read the opinion articles to make sure that there wasn't blatantly false and crazy, because we've seen some crazy stuff over the years.
Yeah, I know that you guys didn't print any of mine.
Yeah, we fact checked it. But but I think people read blogs and everything too, and you got to remember that's all opinion. You can't look at an opinion, and when you're reading a story online, it'll tell you right below the headline whether it's an opinion or whether it's an actual news story. So if it's an opinion, you got to take it with a grain of salt because it's literally coming from someone's point of view.
It's what an opinion is. It's somebody's point of view.
So and there's that old saying: there's his story, her story, and then in the middle there's the truth.
Well, that's why we play the game telephone.
Oh, that game was fun.
Right, to teach kids that like it was said, the dog was brown and jumped over the cat yesterday. And then by the time it gets 10 kids down the line, it's a purple cat and the dog doesn't exist or...
It died somehow.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. Because the whole point of that was not to see if the story would stay the same. It was to see how much it would change because you get that one kid that goes, I'm going to make it. break.
Right.
And that's what happens with every story. Is there's always that one guy that tells it, and then it changes it.
Yeah. Well, and people don't read, and headlines are meant to grab your attention. They don't tell you anything. Let's be very clear. When you read a headline, it's meant to grab your attention. That's its whole purpose. Very, very, not very often is there actually
Usually what is
anything there that you can actually go, I know the whole story because I read the headline.
It'd be like world's best chili in huge letters, and you go to read it. It's like on sale now for 19.
You got to take it it's all out of context. And that, like, I see a lot of, and this is what social media drives me crazy. I see a lot of quotes and things, and everything's taken out of, like, you need the whole story. You can't just post three words or 4 lines out of a story and expect it to tell you everything. It doesn't tell you anything.
I think technology has changed so much. Because when I was in high school, if somebody told you something, you kind of had to believe them because there's no way to
fact check
it and check that kind of stuff.
Now I just ask Alexa.
Well, that's just it. The thing is people get information so fast, they want it so quick that I feel like a lot of reporters, I think some of them do it on purpose, but I think some just say what they have to as quick as they can, and then later go, well, oops. But, we're getting close to the top of the hour here.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
And then it's spaghetti and salad.
Homemade noodles.
Homemade noodles, homemade sauce.
I like it, the sauce. I don't know, I've never had your spaghetti. I could hate it.
I made the same like I made the ramen noodles.
That doesn't mean I like the sauce.
Yeah, you will.
Oh.
Because it's Italian sauce.
Oh. You guys don't have like a special Canadian spaghetti?
Yeah, it's called pasta.
So,
no?
I don't know.
Well, what do you want to do? You want to rant for like 10 more
Well,
minutes?
you got a topic? I come up with the last bunch.
I've been contributing.
More.
And more.
Let me look this over and let's see if I can rant about something here. Restricting transgender. I'm not getting into that because that's an opinion.
That's an opinion. Are you in the opinion page?
No.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? We could talk about this. This kind of.
You're a coach, right? We've got a phone call for the second week in a row.
Hey, MC, have a drink. What's up?
Oh, we're in trouble.
Sure.
I don't know what's going on right now. I'm gonna look through this, see if I can find something else. Am I talking? Oh, really? Well, so I can't find nothing to talk about. While you're on the phone, I don't want to interrupt your phone call either. Let's see. We're on dead air.
That's that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I think I heard about the sniper shooting people there.
We're seeing it right here.
So then we'll go to music for a second.
We're gonna go to a song here. We're gonna play some music here until we find something else to rant about.
This guy's telling me about mass shootings.
Sorry.
Yeah. It's crazy. Oh, good.
So,
Oh, cool. Yeah, we never know if people actually listen to us talk.
we really don't. Let's see.
Well, that's the whole point. We're just trying to rant about random stuff. So, yeah. Oh, thank you. All right. Thanks a lot, Mike.
How's that for you?
I don't know. He was just telling. He was like, "This. My brother listen to you guys every Sunday. We like look forward to hearing you guys talk." He's like, "Sometimes we shake our heads at the stuff you guys are talking about, but he's like, you guys always seem to find another way to make us chuckle." So that's why I was like, I knew it was going to be a lot of conversation. I was like, I'm not able to talk because
Right.
I got to figure out how to use the telephone thing, and especially if that's going to be happening more.
You're getting that's twice in 2 weeks.
And that was a different guy.
Wow. So yeah. Okay, so there's a song playing, but we're gonna go back to sports. Why? Because I can talk about sports all the time. Do you know who Tim Tebow is, by chance? You don't. Well, everybody else does. You don't like football. Tim Tebow was a pretty famous college football player. He played for Florida in I'm probably going to be off here, but somewhere during the mid 2000s, like 2012 or 10 or something like that. Anyway, he's been out of football for 8 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a quarterback. He just recently signed a deal to play a position he's never played before in the NFL. He's going to play tight end for Jacksonville Jaguars. Or his former coach, who coached him in Florida. And everybody's like, he's going to be so great. But all the former players and analysts, guys are like, no. He's been out of a sport, which, okay, you have not played any type of competitive hockey for, 5 years now?
Yeah, since I've been in Havre.
Right? How long is it going to take you to adjust to the competitive game? Not to mention,
it's probably going to take me a few games to at least look competitive.
You're 5 years away from the competitive game, and you're also 5 years older at the age of 36.
Yeah.
37. You'll be 37 this hockey season.
We got to jump over and we'll finish.
So.
All right. And we're back on the air. Sorry about that. We just haven't figured out how to make people go live on the air on the phone. And it's hard to have a conversation with somebody while you could hear me go, huh? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Sure.
So we just decided to play a song quick so I could have a nice conversation with a gentleman talking to us about one of the first mass shootings that had happened, because we dabbled on that a little bit. Won't get into too many detail, but I did appreciate getting some more information. I do like knowing that people are listening to us, and he did say sometimes they shake their head to things we talk about.
Well, that's the thing.
But
like,
they enjoy it.
You can't agree with everybody. That's the thing. Like, and this is the worst thing about that drives me crazy. And this is why I don't talk to politics about people unless I absolutely know where you stand. People have lost friendships and even family members because their political views are different.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're like, oh, that's great. You can believe that. But I don't. And that's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm from Canada, you're in Montana. We have different opinions.
You think
we can't be friends?
You think you're a good hockey player? I'm just going to
wait.
we
were just talking about how I'm going to be playing hockey here.
For the first time competitively in 5 years.
In 5 years, but I mean...
Do you think you could just turn it on?
You know, at the level that you were talking about with that player, that's the NFL. Right?
Yeah, that's the highest level you can play. Like
that's a little different.
That's like an NHLer retiring for 5 years, signing a deal to play a different position.
Mm-hmm. For me, it's for getting into hockey and doing it competitively again. The hard part for me is probably going to be being allowed to hit again.
Mhm.
I think it's going to take a while to register in my brain I'm allowed to.
How's that going to go when you play with us little rec guys on Sundays?
You guys
Are you guys going to remember to
injured?
Are you guys going to remember to shut that off?
The train is coming. Yeah, there'll be the random occurrence where I'll show up and everyone will be like, "Oh man, is he going to have like PTSD from hockey?" But we're getting at the top of the hour here. Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah,
It's good to know that at least one person's listening.
Two. And I love that because the one thing, so like when we use our platforms online, we can see when people are watching and listening to us talk and seeing us talk. But on the radio, we have no idea. I'm not going to lie, I assume that it is usually just our wives listening to us and going, "Oh my goodness." But I do really like knowing that people like our show and that they like what we talk about, even if sometimes they don't agree with it. But that's the whole point.
Right.
We specifically state this is Average Rants, and we don't know nothing, but we're going to talk about it.
We know nothing about nothing, but you got to...
Yeah, so thank you for listening to Average Rants here at KNMC 90.1 FM. And when will we be back, Derek?
Next Sunday, 3 p.m.
Sunday, 3 p.m. All right, I'll put that on my calendar.
6 days and 22 hours from now.
Yeah, there we go. I'll get you guys back to your regular scheduled program. And see you next week.
Rants out.